So we serve 5 counties primarily here at Bell Real Estate Group, and Gwinnett County is one of those counties. And so today I wanted to take just a few minutes and run through the month of January, how that's stacking up against January last year and the year before that, and really just what's going on in the Gwinnett County real estate marketplace. If you ever have questions about anything that's going on in real estate, hey, we'd be happy to talk to you about those. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to look at where we are today, and then we're going to look back at some of the sales, which tells us the past, right? So we may be able to look ahead to the future a little bit and then see what's happened in the past, and I'll explain all that as we go through this. Okay, so as we look at this chart, you can see that in the month of January in 2025, there were just over 3,000 homes for sale in Gwinnett County. And that's a 35% increase or 36% increase from the year before, which was already up 40%, right? So we're looking at roughly, 70%, 75% increase in homes for sale since 2024. And that is a good thing because inventory was so low coming out of COVID. That's what created this rapid price increase year over year. And also, that's what overheated the marketplace, right? Super low interest rates, and buyers were just on a frenzy, and it created a massive appreciation event, and it just sucked all the inventory off the marketplace. So for years, since 2022, really, there have been people that want to buy, people that want to sell, and they just couldn't find a home. So more inventory showing up is actually a good thing for buyers, and it's really a good thing for sellers too. We're still in that, we'll talk about months of inventory, I think, later on, but we're in that 3 to 4.5 month range and really want to get to like 5. A healthy market is like 5 months of inventory. And what that means is if not another house came on the market today, it would take 5 months for all the home inventory to be bought and purchased with the current levels of demand. And so once you get over 7 months, that's where you see home values start to slide backwards. So we want to stay in under that range. Really 4 to 6 is kind of the sweet spot. That's what we're looking for. So overall, I think this is good news if you're looking to purchase. And it's good news if you're looking to downsize or upsize. You've got more options, more homes to look at. So as you look, you see January pending home sales are down. Listen, real estate market is affected by macro events, political cycles, obviously, financial things going on. And I think there's just a lot of people that are just kind of nervous about what's going on for a lot of reasons. They're nervous that there's going to be some big shoe to drop in real estate, which I don't think is going to happen. They're weighing their options to wait and see what rates do if they come down. And I think they are gradually moving down. I wouldn't expect anything below 5.8 or 5.9, really. I think it's just going to be a slow go to get rates back down. And so if you also remember, we had a big snowstorm at the end of January, and that was actually a state of emergency for Georgia. And so closings may have been delayed. We may see those show up in February. But all in all, I think it's relatively flat, if I would just have to guess, without those events. Same amount of homes selling in 24, 25, and 26. This is interesting. January showings per listing. So actually the showing count per listing is going down. And so what this tells me is that the people actually coming to see your home are probably higher intent people that are really ready to do something. So if you're getting ready to sell your house, just understand that it may not be someone coming every day, right? Buyers are re-engaging the marketplace. There's a mortgage index that talks about mortgage applications, and what we're seeing is as the rate is coming down, the mortgage applications are moving up. And so that is the top of the sales funnel. That's the start line for most people. It's getting pre-approved, talking about their finances, figuring out what their box is that they're going to be shopping in, price, size, school district, all those things. And as they're talking to a lender, that's the first step. And so 4.5 showings per listing, you can see that's down year over year. January months of supply of homes for sale. I mentioned this earlier, that we're just at 3.5% roughly. Now that's up big time over last year, almost 40%. But 3.5 months of supply, what that means is homes are going to continue to appreciate. Historically, homes appreciate at 3 to 4%. That's been the curve since the 70s, really. Even after the Great Recession, it all came back to that trend line. And actually, during COVID, prices accelerated past the trend line. So a pullback in rate of appreciation is a good thing. And as long as homes are holding their value or appreciating, even if it's just a little bit, that's a positive sign for the real estate market and for sellers in general. But 3.5% really isn't that much inventory. And even though there's 3,000 homes on the market, if we were to get to 6%, that would be probably somewhere close to 5,000 homes on the market. The more inventory we can build up to a point is a good thing for consumers. It's a good thing for buyers. It's a good thing for sellers. It's just good across the board. This is what it's talking about here is the percent of the last original price. So basically, what was the last price of the home and what did it sell for? Okay? What did it sell for? So roughly 97.5%. And you can see that number's going down. We are seeing this in the marketplace. Sellers are having to negotiate a little bit harder. They're having to make a few more concessions because the number of sellers outnumber buyers. And so you've got more homes for sale than people to buy them. And so people are competing, right? Me and my neighbor are competing to sell our house. And here's what we tell all of our clients is that price and condition are the two most important factors when you're getting ready to market your home. What you listed at really matters. I think there's a couple schools of thought around what you price something at. There's a school of thought where it says, well, I'm going to price it high and I'm just going to let somebody make me an offer. Well, in real estate, and specifically because of things like Zillow, just the access to all the real estate, when you list your home, a buyer is weighing your property against all the other properties in that area. So if they're shopping in a school district and a certain price point, they're going to look at all the other homes in that area. And if you're not competitively priced at market, you're going to get overlooked and they're just not going to come to your house. So price is so important. And right now it really is a beauty contest. And we love when sellers call us and say, hey, come to my house, let me know what we can do to get top dollar for our home. And so right now, if you want top dollar, it's got to be in top condition. So things like paint and fixing doors or, deep cleaning, pressure washing, like there's all kind of things that you can do to get a lot of bang for your buck back. And you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to do it. And for our sellers that do that, oftentimes their homes sell faster and for more money or closer to the list price than the ones that don't. So days on market in Gwinnett County, you can still see that climbing up. And actually in a normal market, days on market is somewhere around 45 to 50. So in Gwinnett County, across the board, every price point, we are still beating what a normal market would be considered of 45, 50 days to sell your home. So if you were to list your home today, you're selling your home sometime in mid-May based on these stats if your home is priced well and if it's in great condition. But you can see that number is climbing from 2025 and 2024, and that has to do with inventory and affordability. Median showings depending. I think this is a cool stat for a seller because if your home shows 10 times, that is the median number that it takes to actually sell the home. So really real estate people, we give advice, we consult, we help you negotiate. But really a big part of our job is we're marketers. Our job is to get people in your house, right? So we want to drive as many people in your house. And with a stat like this, we know that if we have 10 showings, there's a good chance that we're going to get an offer and probably be able to make a deal. That number is actually going down, which is kind of inverse to some of the other stats, I think, that we've seen. But that's a good thing. There's 10 showings to get an offer. I think that's a good thing for sellers. And if you're a buyer out there shopping, just know that a house may not sit on the market forever. Still, you may not get in a bidding war, but if you don't go and buy it, someone else may. And so if you find something you like, I think it's important to put your best foot forward, try to make the deal that you want to make to get the house that you want. Okay, January median price per square foot. You can see here that it actually trickled back down in 2026. For the metro Atlanta area, homes appreciated last year at 0.5% on average. So taking all the homes, it was 0.5%. This is showing that they're selling a little bit less per square footage. But again, this data, we don't know if the house has a finished basement or how big it is, or, it's just a mixed bag. We don't get to see exactly what the house is. But if you're getting ready to sell or you want to know what your house may be worth, this would be a good stat to kind of just run some rough numbers to say, hey, the market is basically $184. And so you just take your square footage and you multiply it times that, and you get an idea of what you could get out of your home. If you want us to do that for you, we'll be happy to do a comparative market analysis. We do that for all of our sellers. There's no commitment on any of those things. We love to come look at a person's house, tell them what they think we can get, explain what we do, what our value proposition is. So if you're interested in that, we would love the opportunity to have that conversation with you too. January closed sales. So if you remember, pending sales were down a little bit in January, and that's just a direct indicator of what the closed sales are going to be down. Again, this isn't alarming to me. January historically has been a month that just fewer sales happen. The real estate market is cyclical, meaning that it goes in cycles, right? And so just imagine a bell curve or a curve like this. And January is one of the months where you have the fewest amount of sales. And then as you get into spring and summer, you peak. And then as you get back down to the end of the year, it falls off again. Doesn't have anything to do with price or anything like that. It's just people are shopping, people are in school, people are in sports. And I think for the most part, when spring happens and the grass is green and kids are out of school, that's when people are doing a lot of moving, a lot of listing during those spring, summer, early fall months. Average sales price in Gwinnett County up 0.5%. So just what I said for Metro Atlanta, this is the similar stat. It is strange that the price per square foot is down a little bit, but the average price is actually up. Honestly, this is healthy for us. See, last year we were up almost 5%. That's really too much. That's going to put us back in the same place that we were in if homes keep climbing that fast in value. We want homes appreciating because you're building equity. People are able to get, make a great investment, move up, move down, do whatever. But we want them appreciating at an average rate that's healthy. And that's somewhere between 2 and 4% is what we're looking for. And that's a prediction for this year from all the economists at the big shops and places like NAR, National Association of Realtors, or Zillow. The average is 1.6% is what they're projecting for homes to appreciate this year. So we're going to have a year of appreciation. There's going to be more home sale. I think people are going to move around a little bit more this year. Buyers are already re-engaging more in the marketplace. So I think that this year is going to be a year of recovery is what I'm calling it. Real estate tends to move in cycles, just like January through February. There's also periods where the real estate market contracts and then it expands. And so contraction is what you may call a recession. And that's just a slowdown, right? It's just a change, a shift. Normally there's 2 to 3 years of that, and then somewhere around 8 years of expansion. And so we're over 3 years in a contracting marketplace. And so I fully expect the market to begin to recover this year as rates continue to go down, home prices are appreciating at a lower rate, more buyers are going to get engaged, and sellers are going to be moving around. And that's really it for Gwinnett County. So I think that's a pretty comprehensive look of the county, what's going on. These are maybe nerdy stats, but I think this should give you good insight into what's going on in Gwinnett County, how long it may take to sell your home, how many months of inventory. All of these things are important to consider when you're even just kicking around the idea of buying or selling. And again, I just want to say that if you're interested in buying or selling, it's never too early to give us a call. And I would just encourage you to work with a trusted professional, someone that knows the marketplace, just like I went through, and someone that does it full time. And if you don't have anyone that you know, like, and trust already, we would love to be that resource for you. And check back in with us. I'm going to be going through the other counties that we have that we service primarily. And if there's anything I can do for you, reach out to me.